Yo, what's good with you? Back in black with another Enlisted video. If you guys are new to the channel and you love shooting games just like me, make sure you aim for that like button and shoot that subscribe button as well. It'll help you find better teammates and it'll improve your skill-based matchmaking. Today, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was my impressions of the Pacific War campaign, which has been recently added into Enlisted. I have spent a substantial amount of time playing it, as I'm sure you guys have as well, both on the Americans and Japanese side. And today, what I just wanted to talk to you guys about is what I like, dislike, the good, the bad, the ugly, and maybe just see if I can resonate with some of you guys as a community, and maybe we share the same ideals or opinions, if you will. And I think to start it off, the first thing I want to talk about is the Japanese versus the Americans in terms of their arsenal. Japanese bolt action rifles feel really good to use so far, which is good because that's the main weapon archetype they used in real life. Their submachine guns could use some work on the iron sights, but I'm a big fan of the generally large magazines, specifically the one on the Type 1 for those who purchased the premium landing pack. I only have one LMG so far, the Type 11, which by far is the bane of my existence when it comes to playing the Japanese. I hate the aim down sight time on it, and I also don't really like how obstructive the magazine is in general when trying to acquire targets running through the brush or behind rocks or in the water or what have you. Japanese snipers are super effective, but I feel that could be said about any sniper in Enlisted. I was very disappointed to find out the Type Hui semi-automatic Japanese rifle that they are sporting was such an underperforming weapon in comparison to its American counterpart, the M1 Garand and the M1 Carbine respectively. When it comes to Japanese vehicles in this campaign, I wouldn't say that there is too much to talk about here, considering the fact that, Japanese tanks are not very effective in real life, and they seem to emulate that pretty well in this game as well. The first tank you get comes with a cannon, the roof is exposed, so you're more than likely to get sniped by the enemy team, if not easily flanked by the large flanking routes that are provided to you by using this map. Even the tank that you get for purchasing the premium landing pack is super big and slow on the Japanese side, and there's niche situations where you can angle yourself or find a very nice spot to mow down a lot of infantry, but more often than not the terrain is very hard to navigate, which makes tanks in general very hard to use in this campaign, whether that be for the Americans or the Japanese. The planes, it's kind of a similar situation going on here. The spawn point is super far away from the objective, which is cool because they're water planes and they start you in the water, but the resupply is typically 3,000 to 4,000 I guess meters or whatever the measurement is that they use in this game away from wherever you are trying to drop your bombs at usually, which makes it pretty pointless to even consider using a plane in this campaign, which is a shame because Japanese planes are typically known for having really good handling and really good top speed, and I was hoping to find a way to experience that or emulate that experience, because I would love to shoot down American planes and have some really cool dogfights or what have you, but it seems that we're going to have to wait for a few updates, which they already did release one hotfix to put the resupply points closer to the battle for planes. But yeah, again, I'm not really feeling that handling and top speed aspect that Japanese planes were notorious for, but maybe when we get a little later in the campaign and we unlock the Zero or what have you, I'll be able to have that experience then. But until then, I would stay away from planes. You'd be better off running 2 tanks in your squads, and even then the tanks aren't that useful, but whatever. I'm sure you guys are already familiar with the American weaponry from the Normandy and Tunisia campaign, so I won't spend too much time breaking down what they have or making comparisons or whatnot, but I will sum it up really quick and say that the Americans are clearly going to outclass the Japanese in terms of firearms and firepower, generally speaking. I mean, if you think about it in a nutshell, what can an Arisaka do that a Springfield cannot? Pretty much nothing. It just depends on which iron sights you like better. The same thing can be said about the Type 100 in comparison to the Thompson. I guess you could say the Type 100 has 10 more bullets in the mag, which makes it better, but that's very marginal. The only gun I think the Japanese have that is superior to the Americans, generally speaking, is the Type 1 SMG, and of course that's only if you buy the premium squad. And even then, one could argue that the grease gun is better. So again, it just really depends on which iron sights you like better, and also whether you like attacking or defending, which brings me to my next transition and the next thing I wanted to talk about. So let's take a second and talk about gameplay, or how it actually feels playing this campaign as the Japanese and the Americans. And I guess I'll start by talking about the Japanese first, because that's the first campaign or side that I decided to try out. And I will say they are defending most of the time, as they should be if we're being historically accurate. One thing that they changed about this campaign is that capture points are generally larger and more circular in formation. So I feel like the attackers actually have it easier nowadays, or at least in this campaign, because one, not only is the areas of combat more wide open and full of dense trees and vegetation for people to hide in, is the simple fact that it's 1,000 lives. And typically when people are playing defense, I don't think they necessarily know how they should go about playing defense in Enlisted. Most people, I play solo most of the time, so this is just my experience, but most people, they tend to just pile up on the objective and kind of just sit on the circle until they get cleared out and try to push back on. And in my personal opinion, that makes playing defense in this campaign very difficult, because not only is it not effective in terms of, you know, actually defending a point, it's just the point I'm trying to make is exacerbated by the simple fact that the playing field is so much wide. The flanking routes are very plentiful for the attackers, so more often than not you're getting hit from multiple angles, so it makes it very difficult to defend. I'm thinking about making a video talking about specifically how people should go about playing defense, because it is very hard in this campaign, specifically for the Japanese. My win rate is 50%, which is the lowest that it has been for any of the campaigns, and I feel that that is specifically attributed to the fact that not only is the playing area larger, but the capture points are larger as well. So if you are going to play the Japanese in this campaign, I feel like you should really, one, either party up, or two, bring your A game, because contrary to what I've been hearing about how hard it is to attack in this campaign, it's actually very easy, and I tend to lose at least half of the time, when I typically win at least 70 to 80% of the time in every other campaign. So, you know, do with that information what you will. Playing as the Americans is a lot more enjoyable in my personal opinion, because again, due to the plentiful flanking routes, because of the expanded play area, you can very more often than not move very far to the left or the right, or run right up the middle and push a frontal assault if you feel the need to. But I don't think I've lost more than 10 times, or at least I can't count more than 10 times I've lost playing as the Americans. So that just goes to show that either they have a bias as far as players are concerned on console, or that I guess this campaign is more balanced as the attackers are favored as opposed as the defenders. So again, just understand that if you are going to play the Japanese, you're going to have your work cut out for you. Another note that I did quickly want to touch upon, or give a little bit of credit to, is the fact that we got an increase in the optimization of Enlisted, generally speaking, on console and PC with the Pacific War update. So on Xbox, I know they are running a constant 4K at 120 frames per second. I'm pretty sure PS5 is in 4K too, but running with a variable frame rate, which makes me kind of sad, because I play on PS5 and I was like, dang, we can't even get 120 frames. That's very tough. But neither here nor there. Any improvement in optimization of the game is highly appreciated, and I just want to say thank you for that. I definitely notice it when playing, and it just makes the game a lot more enjoyable and appealing to people who are more so on that new gen wave as far as consoles, or if they are on PC. Obviously we want to see performance improvements there as well. Only other thing I wanted to touch on is things that I do not like. I feel like there is definitely an attacker bias in this campaign in particular, because of the increase, like I said earlier, because of the increased capture point area. Defending is very hard, and I don't know if that's necessarily a fault of the campaign, but it is something that I have noticed. So it's just, again, when you're losing, obviously that will have an effect on your you know, impressions. So I'm trying to take note of that, and not necessarily give that credit in my overall opinion of the Pacific War campaign. But generally, if I could sum it up, I'm enjoying it a lot. The graphics are very pretty, the gameplay is very fun, everything is close quarters and flanking oriented, as I suspected it would be when I predicted this campaign. Maybe one thing they could do is narrow the maps a little bit, because I feel like the flanking is way too easy for the attackers to do, and unless you're playing on a very vigilant defensive team, again, maybe if you're partied up or whatever, it's going to be very hard for you to defend it. You're probably going to lose a lot of your games because the maps are very wide open and it's easy for people to move around to the left or right, and it's going to be hard to see where people are going as well because everybody's wearing green and brown and we're in the jungle, so it is what it is. Oh, sorry about my dog. Only other thing I'm really not a big fan of is how the planes work in the Pacific War right now. Hopefully they keep tweaking that, maybe move them closer, give them a little more speed, and give the bombs a little more power, because the only time bombs are really effective in this campaign is if you drop them on point and there's people actually on the point, but that's hard to do as well because, again, the capture points are so large and it's so easier. It's a lot easier for people to spread out now, which is good and bad. It's just I guess for as far as planes are concerned, that's not really a good thing. Another thing or criticism that I have is that I thought they would do a little more with the beginning of the match. Like, I thought maybe we would load in on LVTs and like drive in off the boat or come in from the ocean, and people would be dropping ramps and we would have to run up the beach with the machine guns already in place. But the way we spawn in, we're already on the beach, and then we just run up into the island, which is cool, I guess. But I thought they would took a few more steps to do something a little more immersive and really showcase that Pacific feel, which I'm not saying it's not there. This does do a pretty good job representing the Pacific theater, but just maybe they could do a little more with the theatrics or presentation. But maybe I'm just spoiled from playing too much Call of Duty. Neither here nor there. What I'm more interested to know is, what do you guys think of the Pacific War campaign so far? Are you enjoying playing the Japanese or the Americans more? Or maybe you enjoy playing both? Let me know down in the comment section. If I had to think of an overall score, I would give this campaign a 9 out of 10. It is top 2 for me. Definitely super enjoyable. I feel like they're learning a lot from their previous campaigns and implementing that into the gameplay and the experience overall. And I enjoy Enlisted. Hopefully they keep building upon the formula they have going, because it's very unique, and hopefully the player base keeps growing, and yeah, we can take it from there. I'm going to keep making videos about this. Going to get back to playing some more, probably going to be on the American side, but neither here nor there again. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, shoot that subscribe button as well. It'll help you find better teammates, improve your skill-based matchmaking, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Black Guy out.